but the lats for sure. So two of the things that I pretty much do a lot of are wide grip pull-ups and wide grip lat pull-downs to really focus on bringing mine in out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of pull-ups?
Yeah, my coach, let me give a shout out to my coach, KD with the muscle, Kevin Wilson out of Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, great guy. So yeah, for me, when he pretty much kind of strategizes my workout plan, I have what we call daily homework, and that part of it is pull-ups. So I could get like 100 a day, 50 a day, depending on what, and yeah. And he'll know if I'm doing them or not.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, pull-ups are pretty much incorporated in everything that he gives me.
Yeah. That's funny you say that because last year for myself, because I know my back is my strong point, but I wanted more detail in it. So I was doing 100 pull-ups before my fasted cardio in the morning, every single day the last 3 weeks. And for me, I felt like it did show a difference because like I told him, I've never seen that much back detail in my back before, and I've been competing for almost 6 years now. So for me to do something like that, it does help, and it's the basic exercise. It doesn't have to be nothing crazy.
Yeah.
So do you recommend it for a lot of beginners too? Like
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
If you can't use your own body weight to exercise, you're not ready to lift weights.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's the first thing I teach people when I'm training them. You have to use your body weight first. You're starting off with body weight squats because I got to see your form. I got to see how your knees are first, your feet, your hips, all of that, to see if you can actually get in depth or not. Because there's certain ways you gotta move the feet, you gotta move your knees, you gotta move your hips just to get into a squat. A lot of people don't know that because they're gonna go put a bar on their back first. Your body might not be ready for that bar yet.
Definitely.
You're just not helping yourself in the long run.
You gotta crawl before you go walk.
Absolutely.
So people can't even do a proper push-up but want to do a bench press.
Right. I just had one girl I've been training her for 6 weeks now. She goes to another workout camp, but she trains with me twice a week. So I was like, let me see you do a push-up. She couldn't do one push-up. Now she can do 15.
Nice.
Real push-ups. She
Nice.
was like, they don't teach me that where I go at. I say, because they're not paying attention to you.
Yeah.
Group training and one-on-one training is completely two different worlds. Even though when I was doing boot camp, I was still trying to focus on everybody, but it's so hard for one person to do that.
Yep.
So when you get that one-on-one training, you can absolutely pay 100% to that one person.
Right.
And she's very proud of herself when it comes to that. Like anybody you can do anything you want to.
Yeah.
You just gotta put your mind and heart into it.
That's it.
Yeah. So what about you? What's a hard body part to bring up? And
Well, for me, it's
this year. Because I know every year is like a change, you know?
Absolutely. I actually have 3. People think I'm crazy because I say that. I have 3, and it's all in the front. My front pose is my worst pose, but when I turn to the back, I'm in the game.
Yeah.
But if I'm so far behind from the front pose, it's hard for me to catch up. So my number one weakness is my abs. I need more 3D pop into my abs.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, because looking at the way I looked at it at Nationals, when I looked at the overall winners, not the people in my class, I'm looking at overall winners because these overall winners are pros.
Yeah.
So you got to look at pros and compare yourself to pros. Not okay, I'm supposed to look like that, but certain body parts, how the body parts look, how they move, and how conditioned they are. And all I seen was 3D abs. I'm like, I don't have that yet. That's my weakness. That's my major weakness. That's why I'm so weak from the front.
So do you think it's more abs workout or is more conditioning?
It's more ab workouts. Because I can be 6% body fat, 26, 27-inch waist.
Flat abs.
But my abs don't look like it.
They're not popping.
It's not popping out.
So name some routine that you do for your abs that you're doing now, like
Weighted leg lifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you hanging or are you up on the
I'm hanging and I'm doing dragonflies on the bench. Dragonflies, what dragonflies is, I explained this to Daphne yesterday, is the old Bruce Lee leg raises. So you start up here, but your hips and your butt is off the bench, so you're using nothing but your abs to bring your legs down as far down as you can, then you're coming right back up.
So you hold on to the bench like that?
Absolutely.
Oh!
Try doing that,
So
holding a 10-pound
calisthenics.
dumbbell with your feet.
Woo!
Flat or incline?
Flat.
You know Marsha gonna try that. Hey.
I am.
I promise you, if you do it correctly, you will not be able to do more than 8 reps.
Which part of the abs is the hardest to bring up?
Lower.
Yeah, for lower.
Hands down lower.
Always.
Hands down.
So, okay, next question. So far as your conditioning, right? So what would you recommend to anybody who's going to get ready for a show and stuff like that? What would you recommend as far as the conditioning training and the meals? Like, give an idea. Like, if you're like about 4 weeks out, give an idea. Like, what would you put in there? Or we can start from this side now and go right now.
Okay.
Either way.
Well, I mean, honestly, when it comes to meals, it depends on the person.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a deficit, you're in a deficit. No matter what the meals are, you're eating less calories, period. So the less food you start eating, the more cardio you start doing. But everybody's different when it comes to cardio too. Some people have to do, HIIT cardio or harder cardio. Some people can do steady state cardio like we do.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to conditioning, it's all about paying more attention to detail when it comes to your food and your cardio.
Mm-hmm.
Weight training doesn't really change. Yes, you can add some drop sets in there to try to tax the muscle a little bit more to get it in better shape. But you still want to lift heavy as possible when you're in a deficit.
And that's so hard.
And it's definitely hard.
It is.
Don't feed into that myth of lifting lightweight high
No,
reps.
that's the wrong thing to do.
You don't
because-
want.
I don't think you break down nothing doing that.
No.
Actually you do, because mentally you telling your muscle get smaller, get smaller, get
Oh.
smaller, get smaller. So eventually the muscle's gonna listen to you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna actually get smaller, and next thing you know, you're gonna get on stage and you're gonna look flat.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not really flat, you're just out of shape, you're not conditioned. So like I said, everybody's different. You just gotta pay more attention to yourself. You can't do what somebody else does. But like he said, we've been training together for 5 years, so I know how his body works. He actually does more reps than I do.
Mm-hmm.
And some movements he does more weights than I do, because he knows what's best for him. Even though most of the movements are for the both of us. I know when it comes to legs, it's only a certain amount of reps I should be doing, because my legs will keep growing no matter what. And I don't need them to keep growing because I need the muscle to go somewhere else. So, well, with him, his reps is always high because that's how he gets crazy conditioning. But the weight is still heavy, which is crazy.
The best of both worlds.
Also, I think it's a thing with tall people too, like the limbs, man, and conditioning for it, man. You could do sets of 315 on the squat or deadlifts, and you could get a good 20 reps, and you're like, wow, you feel the conditioning, you feel, you know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different too, like he said, it really is different. For like 4 weeks out, what would you eat, you know what I'm saying, and what would you recommend like somebody to do for conditioning?
Well, for me, my coach, we pretty much just hit intervals, especially for cardio. So we incorporate a lot of like intervals for like running a minute at an incline, a speed of like 7 or 8, maybe higher.
It must be hard for you to cut down sometimes, right?
For me, not really. My issue is always my legs. But I think what happens for me is it's kind of because I'm a nurse, and I'm a leader in nursing. So I spend a lot of time sitting down, meetings, interviews, more meetings. So I end up holding a lot of water in my lower extremities. So when we're about 4 weeks out, we're looking at sleeping with my legs up every night.
Wow.
And then my fasting cardio is always like, a HIIT, it's interval and
Wow.
up and downs, that type of thing. So that's what my cardio has been. So my legs come in. They never disappoint, but there's always that worrying that, okay, why am I so swollen? And what we did before my pro debut, Hurricane Pro, we actually stopped a lot of compound lifting. And we mostly use body weight to keep my legs conditioned, and they pull through. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because I just tend to, I tend to swell, like when I'm hitting it too hard. I have inflammation. That's how my body reacts to that type of
workout. You're not helping yourself because you're not as active at work.
Exactly, and I'm not as active at work to be able to bring it down.
Absolutely.
So we
you
end
do
up,
more HIIT.
yeah, more HIIT, a lot of, like kettlebell stuff, more body weight. And then we keep heavy pretty much on top, but not too much, because like I said, my arms, sometimes we'll just back off of them, biceps or arms period, because I don't need them that much.
And they still look good.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. For a lot of you guys don't know, sometimes maybe you just gotta back off the heavy lifting and do the hit.
Everybody's different.
Everybody's different. The work.
If that works for her. So
Yeah.
look, if you don't know her like that, you don't know if you're not the same as her, it's not gonna work for you.
Right.
You can try it. There's nothing wrong with trying to see what somebody else does. Nothing wrong with that. That's
and that's
knowledge.
what it was. It was just, it was the first time we tried it.
Mm-hmm.
And my coach said, let's take this approach and let's just see what happens. So we gave it a week. And as soon as we saw that my legs were coming down, we just kind of kept it going that way until the show came in, and it showed. I would say this, Keith and I talked about it when we look back. I was smaller for my pro debut than I was for Team Universe.
Wow.
So this time around, we agreed that we want to come in fuller. So during my bulking season, we brought it up, and then now we're kind of just like, we've plateaued a little bit because we don't want to come down too early.
That's good though.
So to keep the fullness, especially in my legs.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, pretty much the same thing what all of them say, but to piggyback off of what they said, again, everyone is different. So you can try things, but everything, especially your meal plans and everything, should be tailor-made for you. There's nothing cookie cutter. Nothing is written in stone to say that this is the end all that there is. Nothing is definite. Everyone's different, and not to sound sexist or anything, but it also goes for gender as well. What works good for a male may not work good for a female, because we all have different issues with our body and stuff like that. So pretty much the same thing like what they said. You have to be at a deficit, a caloric deficit, and you have to find a fine line with your cardio. You don't want to do too much, but you want to do just enough to hit that sweet spot.
Have you ever hit like a plateau that you're like, man, I'm like 4 weeks out, I'm like, I gotta try to get down, like.
For me,
what's the craziest thing you ever had to do? Like,
for me, because it's hard for me to make weight, which is why I'm glad I made the pro level when I did, because it was getting to a point where I was
not thinking of
it was a major issue. So now they give me an extra 10 pounds.
So what is it, the 235 now? Or?
It was 230 at the NPC level.
Yeah.
And now they give me an extra 10 so I can be 240 right now.
Nice.
But last year when I went for my pro, I only did the show to get my pro guard, Pittsburgh Teens Collegiate Masters Nationals. I did that show. I only did one show, and which I'll never do again. I got up to 285. That was my heaviest, and I had to get down to 230. So I did a lot to get down to that 230. And not only that, but the day of, what my game plan was, what I did for the past 3 years prior to that, and I did that year as well. I woke up, because I caught a plane ride up there to Pittsburgh. I woke up that morning, grabbed a cup of coffee, went up to, caught my flight, went up to Pittsburgh, got my rental car, checked into my hotel room, still haven't eaten yet. Grabbed another cup of coffee, cranked that down, went to the closest LA Fitness, a gym, did an hour's worth of fasted cardio, because I hadn't eaten yet. Sat in a sauna for about a good half hour.
How many hours?
Still haven't eaten yet. I checked in. I went to do the check-ins. Check-ins I think was like around 5, 6 o'clock. Still haven't eaten yet.
I would have been cranky, y'all.
And when I weighed in, I hit the 230 mark on the dot.
No.
If I would have had just a little something in my system to eat or whatever, I would have been off. So that was my
So you drinking
routine.
water too at the same time?
No.
I was gonna say,
you had 2 cups of coffee.
Just 2
That's
That's it.
But
But guys, literally
black
nothing.
coffee.
No water. People
No.
might think you might take a sip at a water fountain. Nothing.
Also, when he says
Don't
a
need that.
cup of coffee in the bodybuilding world, that means black coffee.
Yeah, no sugar, no cream, no
nothing.
nothing.
Straight up.
Yeah. And that was my routine for three years. I was doing that for 3 years. Because I got my pro card finally. That was actually my 4th try for my pro card, but it was my 3rd time going to Pittsburgh. So yeah, that was my routine. So that was it was suffering, and I don't know any competitor that hasn't gone through, especially bodybuilding and classic, because we have to do a weigh-in. I don't know any competitor that doesn't have a story similar to that, if not stranger, because they have to make weight. You have to do what you got to do to make weight. If you want to try to fit in the category, you have to do what you have to do. But
you will visit that dark place.
yeah. It'll make you test
Absolutely.
yourself, and if you're not really dedicated, it'll show because you'll give up. And I just wasn't. As giving up is not in me. So,
Marsha?
Hey, focus. What you got going on over there?
Marsha?
But yeah, that's my thing. That's my spiel, if you will.
Yeah, because for me last year was the hardest prep I ever had in my life. Doing an hour of cardio in the morning, an hour of cardio at night, and eating about 1,000 calories a day just for my body to come down for about 6 weeks was tough. But I did it though. That's why I said, so you will visit that dark place if you want to be great.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to be average, that's on you. But if you want to be a great person, a great athlete, you will visit that dark place every now and then to get to that level.
And make no
Suffer.
excuses.
No.
Suffer.
Because nobody's putting a gun to your head to make you
Not
do
at all.
it.
And I'll, let me mention about having a daughter. I have two.
Right.
A 6 and an 8-year-old, single parent, working full time Monday through Friday, getting them to school, homework at night. So sometimes for me, training is late nights and early mornings. And you just kind of keep the same thing every day. And people ask like, when you slow down, it's like I don't. I won't slow down until I know that I've placed where I wanted to place. Then I'll take a break.
Right.
Wow.
So all you people out there that keep having excuse after excuse after excuse. Oh, I'll start next week. I'll start next week.
Yeah.
That week come. I'll start next week. Come on, that's no excuse.
Yeah,
You gotta do your cardio.
Yeah.
gotta be your
At the same time, cardio is a tool as well. There's a such thing as overdoing cardio and under eating so much. You have to know your body.
Yeah.
My body likes to stay up. So for me, I have to come down in food and bring my cardio up when I get closer to the show. Everybody's different. Unlike this guy here, all he has to do is under eat. Like I explained to his brother a little while ago, all he has to do is under eat because he has great genetics when it comes to that. He doesn't have to track as hard as we do to come down and get lean and get shredded like that. Under eat and do a little bit of cardio, he'll be ready in a few weeks.
I want to add too, I think too, cardio is not just about coming down. You need it for posing. Because sometimes on that stage, those judges that have you keep going through those routines, and if you're not